Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Faida Farisya binti Muhammad FAIZAL and my metric number is 1910872 and I am from section 1. So the first thing that I'm going to talk about is my president studies. The first president studies is Palau International Coral Reef Center, which is PICRC. It is from Republic of Palau and the architect is Mia Architect and the area of this building is 833 13 meters squared and it is built in 2000. The synthesis of this president studies, it has big entrance near the road and the office at the center to ease the user for any purpose, the garden at the center to enjoy landscape and view, the research room for learning purpose, and this building facing the wind direction for ventilation. And you can see that there is three part of building, which is visitor center building, administration building, and the last one is research building. The next president studies is Belmont Community Rehabilitation Center, which is from Australia, and the architects of this building is Bilad Lease Partnership. The area of this building is 600 meters squared and it is in the year 2012. The synthesis of this president studies, it has maximization of openings to the landscape and view, the administration building and the office as main building, and it has large self-shading windows to provide natural and good ventilation. The use of materials such as glasses for natural light and the outdoor garden for the users. And the last president studies is Urban Research Center. It is from Thailand, which is Tambon Kamphaeng Sign, and the architect is Chiang Mai Life Construction. The area of this building is 563 meters squared and it is in the year 2014. So the synthesis of this building is the office at the center to ease the user for any purpose, and it has garden at the center to enjoy landscape and good view. The lecture room facing the wind direction for good ventilation, and this building has a good entrance and big near the road. Research room for learning purpose. So that's all for my president studies. Moving on to my case study. My first case study is foundation. I will use pile foundation and also deep foundation because it is needed in area which soil underlying is weak and also our site has poor soil condition. And the concrete pilings as it is can avoid corrosion and withstand heavy loads such as building structure and also the heavy materials. The second case study is tank for coral. So there are three requirements, which is provide enough lighting to prevent coral bleaching. The second one, create a large tanks or space for planting and also to avoid competition between corals. And the last one is supply water movement for good chemicals and eliminates the harmful nutrients for the coral. And the last case study is materials. There's two of them which are steel structure and also concrete. The reason why is it is because both of them is fire resistant and moisture resistant, most durable, cost efficient and strong, high aesthetic value make it more interesting to public and can be formed to many shapes. That's all for my case study. Moving on to my site. So as you can see, I am from site B. It is located beside the seashore and the wind direction is came from northeast and also northwest. The good sound, smell and also view is actually surrounded by the site itself. From the site analysis, I can synthesize to add some ideas to propose in the site, such as add jetty for circulation purpose, make the site as restrict area for human activities, construct fence around the site for the user safety, build an accessible route to the site from the main road, orientate the openings on the north side to capture more wind for ventilation, add street bollard light around the site for safety, and the last one, propose an area on seawater to do the coral propagation process. That's all for my side. Moving on to my design. So the first thing that I want to talk about is zoning and SOE. So there's three parts in zoning and my SOE, which is public space, semi-private and also private. I divide the building according to the spaces, which are visitor center building, administration building, and research building. And the total area of all the spaces is 600 meters squared. Next is my concept. So my concept is iService. What is iService? iService means volume of space visible from a given point in space. As you can see in the picture, it's actually a point that have centralized all the things around it to become one. Moving on to my conceptual drawing. As you can see at number 1, I took two main axes, which is good view that facing the ocean and also the wind direction that came from the northeast and also the northwest. And then I form an irregular shape from the two main axes. After that, I divide it into three according to its function, which are research building, visitor center building, and also administration building. Then I resize it according to its function. Which one is the most important will be the one that is bigger, which is visitor center building, and the other two is actually going to be a small building. So it creates freedom. So from this kind of form, it's actually express my concept, which is e-service. And then I connect three spaces by roof using a good view axis. That's how the e-service has been applied in my design. Next is interim of design development. This is the 3D sketches of my conceptual model to make it more clear and understand of my conceptual drawing. Bubble and schematic diagram. So this is my ground floor and my first floor bubble diagram. As you can see, I applied the spaces, the three spaces that I took from my precedent studies, which is research building center, visitor center building, and administration building, according to its function, which are the private building, semi-private building, and the last one is public building. As you can see, there will be one spaces only at my first floor, as it will be a lecture hall that combines two levels, and it will be one lecture hall. And the last part in this section will be my conceptual model. And next, moving on to my drawing and model. So this is my elevation drawing. My site plan. My site planning including the parking spaces. And the roof plan. And all the drawing is according to this mock-up model. And finally, the last part in this video is about the construction. So I chose two construction for the wall and also for the roof. For the wall, I chose post and beam concrete. As we know, concrete is moisture resistant and it will be suitable for my site. And concrete, also known as most durable, cost-efficient and strong material. Next is my construction method for the roof. For the roof, I will choose silicone pointed glazing, which is actually, it is a steel structure. Steel structure is high aesthetic value, make it more interesting to the public. As you can see, my roof has its own irregular shape and silicone pointed glazing can be formed into many shapes. The last one is construction model. So this is my construction model, post and beam concrete for wall and silicone pointed glazing for roof. And I think this is the end of the video. I hope you enjoy my explanation and thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.